Spring has definitely sprung, and Natasha Denona has blessed us with a spring palette called Natasha Denona Bloom Palette. So for today's video, I'm going to be making swatches. Also, I also recorded a video that shows me doing like a simple makeup look using this palette and doing a wear test. So if you want to see how long the colors hold up for this palette, keep watching. And if you want to see how it looks on a person with a medium skin tone like myself. Before we get to the swatching, do you guys know that the Natasha Denona Bloom palette cover is actually a watercolor painting by Natasha Denona herself? Yeah, so I think the cover is very pretty. The packaging is very sturdy. And the color story of this palette is just so pretty. So let's start with the first row. I'm gonna start with a shade called Fluorescence. Let me roll up my sleeve. So that's Fluorescence, starting from the top. Okay. Pardon my bruise, I had a blood work done today. Next one is called Bark. So it's a matte shade. Okay. Third shade is called Keen. All right. Next shade on the list is called Wren. I have a friend who has a baby and her name is Wren and she's so cute. That's that. Oh, this is almost the same color as the, the package itself. Or the case. Oh, that is okay. And a little shimmer shade called Fleur. Let's move on to the second row. Let's start off with the shade called Crisp. So this is Crisp. Oh, what a pretty shade. Oh, so that's Crisp. Next one is called Lush. This is Lush. Nice. Okay, the one in the middle is called Brick. Fourth one in the middle row is called Rue. So pretty. And the last one on the second row is called Floss. F-L-O-S. Wow. And now we're down to the third row. Let's start off with a shade called Petal. Oh, I'm running out of space here. So that's Petal. It's a good, almost disappear on my arm. Next one is called Ember. This is Ember. Oh yes, pretty. Next shade is called Robin. Fourth shade in the bottom is called Clover. Not the least, we have Equinox. This is a gorgeous inner eye corner shimmer. And this is a swatch. Okay, so let's do some palette comparisons. The first palette that we're gonna compare it to is the Natasha Denona My Dream palette. It looks like there's some similar shades, so let's watch them. So this is Robin from the Bloom palette, and then this one is Unity from the Dream palette. What do you guys think? Is it similar? You be the judge. There is a little bit of similarity, but I feel like Robin does have a more peach tone on it. Next, let's compare Carpe Diem and Floss. So Carpe Diem and Floss. So this one is Carpe Diem and this one is Floss. Carpe Diem on the top and this is Floss. Okay, I know they kind of look similar, but I feel like Floss has a more deeper shade. Next one we're going to compare is the shade Familia and Bark. Oh no, that one I don't really need to swatch because it's pretty obvious that Bark is darker, so I don't think that one's a repeat shade. Okay, next palette that I'm going to compare with the Bloom palette is the Retro palette. I looked at it one by one. I think the closest shade that I could find here is the shade Amara and Clover. So let me put them next to each other. And then we're gonna swatch them. So this is Amara and this is Clover. Amara on my middle finger and Clover on the index finger. Let's swatch them side by side. What do you guys think? Okay, so let's move on to other brands palette comparison. So another palette that I can somehow compare to the Bloom palette is the Danessa Myricks Groundwork Blooming Romance palette. So I feel like there's a lot of shades here that are kind of similar. Like, say for example, the shade Ren. It kind of looks like Dreamy. So let me do a swatch of that. This is Ren and this is Dreamy. Oh, let me do it one more time. Dreamy on my index finger and Ren on my middle finger. No, there is a difference. I feel like Ren is more of a peachy tone. So if you look at them closely, like in regards to like the pinkish and the peach tones, they are not completely the same, but I can say that they're comparable to each other. I feel like just the difference is that the Bloom palette has like beautiful shimmer shades on it, and the Blooming Romance has the creamy eyeshadow. It's all matte, but it has the cream eyeshadows on them. I think they're both equally pretty. Okay, so if the Huda Beauty I Need a Nude, sorry, not I Need a Nude, the new nude palette, and this is the Desert Dusk palette, right? So this is the Huda Beauty palettes. If the Desert Dusk palette and the new nude palette had a baby, it would be, ta-da, the Bloom palette. Don't ask me why I still have these palettes. I will not let go of these palettes even if it's been a while. I don't see any mold on them yet. Don't judge me. But anyway, so the point is that there's a lot of shades in the new nude palette and the Desert Dusk palette that are on the Bloom palette as well. So if you look at them closely, there are a bunch of similar shades, I feel. So if you already own these two palettes from Huda Beauty, you may skip the Bloom palette, but it's entirely up to you. If you want to add this to your collection, I think it's worth a shot. Okay, now let's do a simple makeup look plus a wear test afterwards. So to start off, I used the shade Petal as the base for this eyeshadow look. And then using the same exact brush, I used the shade Robin on the area of my eye crease. Just trying to blend that out. Now I'm going back in with a pointed brush and I'm going to use the shade Floss in the outer eye corner. Okay, so now it's time to add some shimmer shades. I think this is the shade Equinox and Fleur. So in the middle of my eye, I used Equinox. I know when it's swatched, it didn't look too appealing, but when you actually put it on the eye, along or on top of other shadows, I feel like it looked very beautiful. And it just blended so well with the rest of my eyeshadow look. And then for the inner eye corner, I used the shade Fleur. So Equinox in the middle and the inner eye corner had Fleur. The eye look looked very feminine. It's very girly and it's just so perfect for spring. I love it so much. Okay, so I recorded this video at the end of the day. The time I recorded this is at 6:05 p.m. and the makeup still looks very beautiful. It's not as vibrant as when I first applied everything, but you can still see the pigment there. Okay, so what are my final thoughts on this palette? If you saw the clip where I did the wear test, I feel like the colors held up almost the entire day. I mean, it's not as vibrant as when I first applied the makeup, but you can still do see the colors on my eyelids even at the end of the day. Number two, I think this is a very pretty palette for spring. It's I'm really in love with the color story. I don't think I already have a palette that has pretty pinks and peach tones on them. If you already have pink or peach tone palettes and you feel like there are a lot of repeat colors, then I think it's okay for you to skip it. Especially, it is a bit of a pricey product, but me personally, I don't have a pink or a peach palette yet, so I went ahead and grabbed it. The quality of the Natasha Denona palette, is it comparable to her other palettes? I think yes. Yeah, the pigment is really there. It's really soft and easy to blend. I can honestly compare it to her other previous palettes. And I saw a lot of videos online that it's getting a lot of hate. Like, oh, do we need another one? Or it looks basic. I think it's a personal preference thing. Ever since I bought this palette like 2 weeks ago, I saw myself like reaching for it often in a way that the colors in the color story of this palette is actually wearable for daytime. And then if you want to use it for nighttime or bump it up to something more glamorous, you could just apply the darker shades or apply the more bold shades, so you can voila have a nighttime glamorous look. But for me, I don't see it as a boring palette or another basic palette. For me, I see it as a wearable, nice pastel color, versatile palette. And that's just me personally. And for a medium skin tone girly, I think the colors do show up. So that's about it. Thank you for watching. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up. And if you haven't done so yet, please hit the subscribe button. Thank you for watching. God bless you and have an amazing day. Bye.